Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here. And last night I decided to go beyond the clip that was circulating via Bill Maher's Real Time and watch his entire show for the first time in a very, very, very long time. I used to watch Real Time all the time. I watched Politically Incorrect before that as a kid. When it was on Comedy Central, and it actually is one of the things that I will credit Bill Maher with to get me into the interest of current events, politics, and things like that. On top of that, right, Bill Maher's Religulous is a fun movie, and, believe it or not, I think Bill Maher is a really smart guy. I really do. I think he's a very, very intelligent man. And this is why it troubles me that he gets so much wrong, and that some of the things that I had to watch in order to literally get to the last segment of his show, which we're going to go over here, which I think he nails about 85, 90%. He doesn't get it all the way right by any means. That's why in the thumbnail it says kind of sort of nails it, right? But I sat through so much Johnny nonsense, and I can't believe it, that we're going to have to review a little bit of the episode, and that's going to be the beginning of this. Make sure to thumbs the video up, subscribe, share. I do want to say this. There's no way I'm going to be able to play the whole clip here on YouTube. It's like an 8 or 9 minute clip. We are going to play the whole clip on Rockfin in and out, and the reason isn't so much the copyright thing, although that now is a concern with YouTube coming after me harder. And I'm literally in a 3-week stretch now, guys. If I go 3 weeks without a strike, we go back to zero, and maybe it's harder for them to take away my channel. But because, I'm going to want to say things that just are not allowed to be said on this platform in order to correct Bill or reiterate his point. How's that? So let's start talking about it a little bit. And again, we're going to get there and play the clip, but I want to wait. In the beginning of this, he does his little monologue. It's a bit ridiculous, and he brings it into Afghanistan and 9/11. And here's where it's really concerning, guys. He begins to start talking about that we're going to leave Afghanistan now on September 11th, 20 years later, and it is by far more than time. 100% agree. 100% agree. But if you've already seen my video on it, I'm extremely skeptical that what people think is going to happen in Afghanistan is going to happen. When he says withdraw, our troops from Afghanistan, does that just mean combat troops? How many bases are we going to have there? What's the drone situation like? What are the United Nations allies that are going to be there? Okay. Who have we empowered? Well, there'll still be privatized military groups out of the United States inside that region. I would assume the answer to everything I just said there is yes. Is yes, right? So the fact that he doesn't talk about that reality, and throughout this whole thing, he acts like Biden's in charge, right? There's a new intro, and it's got the Republican Party with a Q in it. And he makes a Q joke in there, of course. And there's a lot of people that are upset at me every time that subject comes up. But now that it has immersed the popular culture, and I spent a good 2-3 years debunking it while it was, happening, obviously I'm going to have a retrospective analysis of it, right? Right. So later on in the show, I'm sitting there going, I can't believe this guy thinks that they're going to get out, especially with Biden. If you know history, Biden covered up the Pakistani role in 9/11, threatened Pakistan, went full establishment with the war machine, okay? And then under the Barack Obama administration, made it go further into Syria with Operation Timber Sycamore, right? And other programs, period. Right? So, there's a point where he's having his round table, right? And the one guy actually says, do you really think he's leaving? He's talking to Bush, and they're doing it on this date of September 11th. And Bill said, he said he's going. I can't imagine that he's going to pull out of that. That's a long time from now. It's not quite 5 months, 4.5 months. A lot of things could happen in 4.5 months. A lot of narratives could be built, right? So, that was a big issue with the show. Obviously, it's extremely left-leaning, and there was just like all this identity politics, Johnny nonsense. And they talked about defund the police, and, some woman tried to defend it. And, I give Maher credit on some issues. But the big issue here that he does get right, is I don't want my medicine and my politics mixed. And never before have we seen medicine and politics mixed in a manner where if you wanted to treat yourself one way medically, you were assumed to be part of some political party. Now, in no way does he go hard enough in the paint on Andrew Capo Cuomo. Not at all. Not even close, right? But he does at least give Ron DeSantis credit. Now, here's the thing. On this platform, again, why we're only going to play a very, very small portion of this, Ron DeSantis holds a roundtable, again, with medical professionals that throughout their lives, guys, again, they don't ask you at the door of your doctor's office to tell them how you vote, right? Or what political party you may be affiliated with, if any. That's not a thing. But they've acted like it's a thing. And Maher breaks down the ludicrousy of many of these policies, right? But here are the things, obviously, he's not getting. I mean, we're not even going to get into the, UBI, Automation Nation, Great Reset, transhumanist agenda that we cover ad nauseum here because it is the issue. It is the issue, right? But he's not talking about other types of solutions, and I think he needs to focus more on what Naomi Wolf is saying. In fact, Naomi Wolf just did an interview, right, with Steve Bannon. It's over on her site, Daily Clout. It's not that long. I think it's 5 parts, but like each one's like 7 to 12 minutes long. They're not long segments. It's under an hour. And look, I'm not here to preach about how awesome Steve Bannon is. But Bannon pretty much let her talk 90+% of the time because even Bannon realizes what this is. And I know that Naomi Wolf's been on Politically Incorrect before, and that should be the next move for Maher to have him on, her on. Okay? Now, the other issue here is that Maher continuously promotes the climate change agenda, et cetera, and I think there's some climate change stuff in here as well. Well, I'm going to be doing a watch along with all the released Veritas stuff later on, again on Rockfin, probably not on YouTube because it'll probably get banned on YouTube. Because the Veritas stuff is very clear that the next move for CNN is to make into even more of a crisis the climate change issue and kind of trade it off for what's happening with COVID. And that's something we've been talking about from the beginning, and something that these globalists, people like Klaus Schwab, World Economic Forum, and Naomi Wolf is naming World Economic Forum, naming Gates, naming Fauci. Okay, I want to make that very clear. If you're not keeping up on Naomi Wolf, oh my goodness. Wow. She's somebody everybody needs to get behind. And again, should be Maher's next featured guest. I thought it was almost a fluff piece, even though, freedom of speech is important to have Sharon Osbourne on. That's something I don't even want to get into. So, without further ado, guys, thumbs the video up. We don't even have 50 likes over on YouTube. We're going to get into this with Maher right now, but I'm probably going to pause it, and we're going to go over to Rockfin once it gets a little too spicy, a little too juicy, a little too banned. So make sure you make that free Rockfin account. You follow me. We're over 15,000 strong over on Rockfin. Thank you, guys. Awesome. 15,000 followers, and they're not going to censor me when I talk about solutions that will work outside of lockdowns, even though Maher talks about how lockdowns haven't worked. Okay, I don't even know if I can get away with that. That's another reason we're not going to play this whole clip over just at YouTube, okay? So here we go.
And finally, new rule, don't spit.
Oh, you know what? Hold on. Sorry, guys, I forgot. I had done a broadcast, and I forgot to put those bad boys right in there. Okay, here we go.
In me when it comes to my health. Over the past year, the COVID pandemic has prompted the medical establishment, the media, and the government to take a scared straight approach to getting the public to comply with their recommendations. Well, I'm from a different school. Give it to me straight, Doc.
Give it to me straight, Doc. Now, you got to think about that. Now, he says don't spin it. And already the audience is extremely uncomfortable. And again, I don't know how much we're going to get away with here because HBO could come after me. So make sure right now you're making that free Rockfin account because we're probably only going to pay about 30, 45 more seconds of this, and then we're going to go strictly Rockfin.
Because in the long run, that always works better than you can't handle the truth.
See, that gets claps, but is that society really wants right now? There's so much censorship. But to me, as I've spoken about this stuff, you know, people often ask me, wouldn't you rather just not know? Don't you just want to be, you know, ignorance is bliss? It's not bliss. It's not bliss. It's not going to allow you to navigate these situations. It's not going to allow you to, what? Resist this tyranny with others so that we have a future for humanity. Humanity, human beings, people that disagree.
Now, I get it. Doctors tell people lies because they don't trust you to finish the antibiotics after your dick starts feeling better.
And again, you know, he tells you that you know, doctors are telling you lies because of that. We all know that, first of all, doctors are going to tell you different things for different situations, and different doctors are going to tell you different things for those same situations. It's kind of like the science is settled, but we've always been able to hear those separate opinions and then make our own decisions. And that's no longer there. And then the other thing is that, you know, I don't think he goes hard enough to, you know, say how nefarious, just like any other human being, right? Any other human being, doesn't matter what their profession is, can be.
And media? Well, I think we all know if it bleeds, it leads. The more they can get you to stay inside and watch their panic porn, the higher the ratings.
That is also extremely true. Now, but to me, yeah, that's part of it. And obviously that helps build it. And we'll be getting into that when we play the Veritas stuff later. Sure, that's part of it. But the other part of it being an extension of this military industrial complex that they've built, right? A civilian system, a Trojan horse, right? We talked about that Faustian bargain that was discussed on Fox News with the CEO of Parler, right? That they're in it together, Hepting versus AT&T. Mockingbird.
Researchers at Dartmouth built a database recently monitoring the COVID coverage of the major news outlets across the world and found that while other countries mix the good news in with the bad, the U.S. national media reported almost 90% bad news.
And this is in the New York Times. And obviously we're not fans of the New York Times either. So here's the deal, guys. Thumbs the video up, subscribe, share. We're going to end it here. Over on YouTube, there's a good 7 minutes left of this, so it's probably going to be another 15, 20 minutes of this video. We're going to talk about actual solutions that Maher's not talking about that we can't discuss on this platform. And I just want to thank you for being here. Thumbs it up, subscribe, share the other links down below to support me at Jason Burmis on Venmo. Jason is Void at yahoo.com, on PayPal, another great way to support me. But the best way is to become a premium member over on Rockfin, and then you get everybody's content. But at least go now, make that regular free membership, and come join the fun, because YouTube, we love you.